Well, hello! Welcome to lesson 2.2. Now, in lesson 2.1, we learned how to make an ellipse or a rectangle follow our mouse around the screen. So we started doing our animations. Now we want to make it so we can change the size or the color of our shapes. That will make our animations a little bit more dynamic. And just think about it this way. If you ever have a character who gets like really mad, right? Don't they turn like red? So you can convey a lot of emotion and different things using colors. Or if someone goes into Super Saiyan mode, they have to turn yellow. So we're going to learn how to change the color of our characters. Yeah, we're going to make this pretty cool. So let's just start off like this. We're going to start with a very basic ellipse, as we always do. So we're going to do ellipse, 200, 200, and then we'll put 100, 100. So a basic, simple, normal ellipse right here. Now, before in our last lesson, this is what we learned. If we change those first two numbers, which are the x and y coordinates of the center of the circle, and we take it from 200 to 200 and we do mouse x, mouse y, what happens is that it now follows our mouse around the screen because the center is now wherever the x and y coordinate of the mouse are. But that's just one thing we could do. So let's go back to our beginning state here. What if we put mouse x in for the third number? What do you think will happen? Think about that for a second. Ooh, what happened there? Well, what's going to happen is that as we move our mouse left and right, it gets wider, it stretches it out. Because remember, the third number is the width of our ellipse. So if I move my mouse all the way over here, the width is 0 because my x is 0. If I move my mouse all the way over here, my width is 400 because my mouse is at 400. So as you move your mouse left and right, you can see that the width is increasing and decreasing. Now you could also do the same thing for the other one. So let's just put this back to 100. And what if we did that for the fourth number? What do you think will happen? Well, that's right, because the fourth one is the height. So now as I move my mouse back left and right, you see how it gets higher? So as I start over here, the height of that circle is 0. And if I go all the way over here, the height is now 400. So now I can increase it and decrease it. And you could do all sorts of crazy things. You could do mouse x, mouse y, so that the width corresponds to the what's it called, the x of your mouse, and the height corresponds to the y. So now you could start really like moving this around like that. You could reverse them. It doesn't have to be in any particular order. You could do it like this. So now it has a different relationship. So you see the height is left and right. The width is up and down. Whatever. You could do all sorts of things, whatever you want. You can just have fun with it. Or you can just make it just like stay like a circle by doing it that way. So that is how we can change the shape and size of it. So I'm going to put this back to 100, 100, and we'll just keep this as a basic circle again. So changing the size, remember, all you have to do is put the variable mouse x or mouse y in for the things that determine the size of the ellipse, which is the fourth number, which is the width, or, sorry, the third number, which is the width, or the fourth number, that's the height. Remember, if you put a variable in, meaning mouse x or mouse y, in for those numbers, they can then change the width and the height. All right, now how can we change the color? Well, check this out. Let's say we started here with a red circle. Well, let's just start with a black circle. All right, basic black circle, nothing changes. This is an RGB code, right? Right now it's always 0, 0, 0. What if I put in mouse x here? What do you think will happen? Well, as I move my mouse to the right, I'm putting more and more red in, right? Because my x value is increasing. So as my x value decreases, it turns black, it goes to 0. But as I move my mouse to the right, it gets more and more color, right? It gets more and more red. Very cool, right? So you could put your mouse x, mouse y in for all of these fill variables. I mean, for these fill numbers, the R, the G, and the B. Same thing, like let's say we want to turn more blue. We could do it like this. Let's do, what's it called? Mouse y. So now this time if I move my mouse to the top, it turns black. If I move my mouse towards the middle, I'm adding more blue, and it turns blue. And you could do all sorts of crazy things. You don't have to stick to any pattern. You can put them in everywhere. You're going to get all sorts of crazy colors. You can put it in for each one of them. Whatever, mouse X, mouse Y, mouse Y. You see all the various colors you get now. Ooh. So that's it. We've learned now how to make it change colors, change sizes, and really add some cool stuff to our shapes. Party! Whoa, 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 whoa.